Hi everyone, I'm Russ Holkman from Wetsuit Survival. This is the first part of a three-part series of videos I'm going to make on making fire in the wilderness. The first video is going to be about the fundamentals, sort of the base you need to know about getting a fire going in the woods, kind of lay a framework of your knowledge. Video 2 is I'm going to lay the fire out in a fire lay, the various materials, and then we're going to get it going and maintain it to a sustainable level. And then video 3 is going to be kind of an appendix where I'm going to play with some fire starting gear, kind of show you what's good, what's bad, what works, what doesn't, and why that is. All right, so let's kick it off. The fundamentals, the kind of stuff that you need to know when you're trying to make a fire in the wilderness. A couple things. All fires, typical fires, need three things in the proper proportion to get going. They need a fuel source, so we'll talk about wood in this instance since we're in the wilderness or the forest. But we'll talk about wood. But it needs fuel, it needs a heat source, so that could be a spark, that could be a flame, that could be a plasma torch. And then third, it needs oxygen. So it needs that air to make it kind of breathe, and I'll refer to it as making the fire breathe. Those all need to be in the proper proportion, almost like the inside of an engine for the fuel to combust. If you get one side off balance, so in other words, if you jam your new fire with too much fuel and not enough air, you'll snuff it out with its own material. You say, I have a lot of stuff on there, it could burn. I got leaves and I got sticks and stuff, but it's going out. Why? It's because you're choking off this air. So another thing to consider that's important is the quality of wood that you're going to pick up. I advise people to look for downed dead wood. That is wood that has broken off of a tree, small branches and limbs, but is not laying directly on the ground. When it lays on the ground, it soaks up a lot of moisture over time and it gets rotten and punky. This would be an example. Here's a branch that has fallen and hanging up in a small sapling next to me. This is a branch that I found here. It was just leaning up against a tree. This has been here for quite a while, but it hasn't really touched the ground, so it's dried out and it's seasoned. Another thing to maybe look for, at least this time of year, this is the fall, almost winter. This is obviously a branch that came down in the summer before the leaves fell. It's an oak tree branch, and it still has leaves on it, which means it came down in the summertime. And so it's dead, but it's not rotten. Kind of another indicator is if wood sounds like this, and I get this all the time from students. They come bringing wood to the fire, and they say, I think this is going to be great. And it sounds like this. And you can see that just broke. It's rotten. It's punky. There's not a lot of fuel value here. Ideally, and this is ideal, this is what you want it to sound like. This is maple. You hear it sounds almost like two Louisville sluggers getting knocked together. That's ideal. But you can find that in the woods all the time. We're actually in a big stand of maples right now. The reason for that is the rotten stuff doesn't have as much fuel value left in it anymore. For wood to burn, the temperature needs to get elevated by a flame source to above about 570 degrees Fahrenheit for it to start producing a gas, and it's the gas that actually burns and then consumes the wood. Cruddy wood like that is much harder to achieve that level. Also, different woods will burn at different temperatures, you'll find as you experiment around in the woods. And then the quality of fire will be different. Oaks and hickories and ash and some maple, they'll burn hot. They'll catch fairly easily, and they'll leave coals, which is great for cooking or heating a long time at night, rather than ash. But pine will catch quicker, burn faster. It's a softer wood, but it'll just kind of leave ash. Just kind of leave ashes. So you kind of want to think about that when you're taking one type of wood and catching another type on fire. Okay, so that's sort of it in a nutshell. Is just kind of some fundamentals, just kind of lay the groundwork of what you want to look for, what you want to avoid as far as getting your wood. So you're going to need fuel, a heat source, and then proper mixture of oxygen or air to your fire. You're going to want the right kind of wood, not rotten and punky and soft and easily broken. But you also don't want green stuff. So you're going to want something that's broken, dead, and down, and hanging from trees or up off the ground. Okay, so given that kind of stuff, our next video will be on actually putting it all together and getting a fire going and assembling all the materials so it'll be fail-safe. Thanks for watching.